Hey guys, what's up? It's LJS here, back with another deck profile. This time it's going to be the wonderful new circus performing Palemoon Venus Luquier. Its name is Silver Thorn Dragon Empress Venus Luquier. So this is set 15, and now Palemoon has gotten another support, and this time it's another Luquier support, another version of Luquier. And if you want to know why is this another, then just read the Cray lore and you know why. Anyways, with set 15, this is a new boss which is pretty good. And the thing is, for this deck, my friend's deck, he runs cards that support her, such as the previous version of Luquier, her reverse serve, Luquier reverse, as well as things that power up, which is the Upright Lion, the Purple Trapezist clone, Zelma, and deck thinning helpers such as Irina and your new starter, Emil. So with the general idea out of the way, let's go to the deck profile. Oh, for those of you who don't know, Palemoon's clan revolve around playing with the Soul. So the Soul is technically its second deck. So they call units from the Soul for almost free, like that. Anyway, so yeah. Let's get on to the deck profile. So, for the Great Threes, my friend runs 3 Venus Luquier. So her skill is Limit Break 4, Special Counter Blast 2, then you will Soul Charge 2, and choose up to 5 Palemoon from your soul, with the grade that adds up to 6 or less from your soul, and call them to separate R, which you can only use it once a turn. So basically, what you do is a special command plus 2, and you call out up to 5 regards, where the grades add up 6. So potential combinations you can do is 3-3-0-0-0, 2-1-2-1-0, or 1-1-2-1-1. I don't know why I want to do that for, but yeah, those are potential combinations you can do. So as you can see, Venus Luquier brings a new sort of dimension to Soul Calling. Her skill is more reminiscent to the original Luquier than in the reverse Luquier. So yeah, but yeah, Counter Blast 2. Next, he runs 3 Luquier reverse. So for those who don't know her skill, she's from set 12. Her skill is Limit Break 4, Counter Blast 1, and lock one of your Palemoon rear guards. If you do, choose a Palemoon from your soul, call it to R, and that unit gets 5k until end of turn. So this card is a very good card, because when it first came out, he finally put Palemoon into the meta scene, because she is a very good card. She helps make you consistent and get free calls. So essentially what she does is she allows you to get a free call from the soul with a cheap cost of Counter Blast 1 and temporary locking, and that unit gets 5k, which helps to push. So normally, for this deck, we will start off with her, so you get free calls, and then once your Counter Blast sort of runs out or whatever, you finish off with her to power push. And finally, my friend runs 2 Luquier, because this is the base. This is what you need to get the Cardfight off. Oh, and these 2 are both Cardfight versions of Luquier. So if she's in the soul, they're both 13k. Which is very good for defense and very good for offensive wise. It's not exactly that much difference, but the main reason is for defense. So her skill, which you probably will never use, Counter Blast 3. Yep, Counter Blast 3, expensive cost. Choose up to 1 grade 1, 0, 2, 3, and 3 Palemoon from your soul and call them to separate R. And she's 10k base. And basically, every time you call a Palemoon from the soul, she gets another 3k. So as you can see, their skills are pretty similar. One calls 0, 1, 2, 3. One calls up to grade 6. This is 3 Counter Blast, this is 2 special Counter Blast, which is cheaper. So this is definitely better than to use. And you can spam her for even a few rounds as well, but for her you can probably just use her once a game. So you don't use her skill, typically. Unless you have absolutely no choice. So for the grade 2s, he runs 3 Marisica. Yeah, 3 Marisica. She is in here for pressure. So the skill is, when this unit hits a Vanguard, if you have a Palemoon Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your card with a Silver Thorn from your soul and call it to R. At the end of the turn, put it back in the soul. So basically, yeah, counter +1. So basically, she's a pressure card. So she's a very, very good turn 2 ride because you pressure your opponent to guard early. So basically, when she hits, counter +1, call something up from the soul. So let's say if your soul has been set up nicely, somehow you have a grade 3 in your soul, call it out. So now if you have a grade 3 attacker, go back in the soul. And it's a very pressure card because it allows you to rush your opponent early if it goes off. So next, we run a new card from set 15 called the Upright Lion. So she is essentially all those power upper stacking clones. Basically his skill is when sorry when another of your Palemoon or unit with Silver Thorn in his card name is placed on R from your soul, he gains 3k. So essentially it stacks. So whenever you call a Silver Thorn from the soul, he gains 3k. So if you see, you can combo with this guy. On her turn when she uses a skill, if you pull him out and you pull another 4 regards out, he gains 12k for that turn, which is a 21k attacker. Just like that. So as you can see, this is why she's useful early game to sort of, you know, get free calls and maybe push with your rearguard. And then at late game, you know, you push her with additional 5k powered rearguards, which is pretty good. Last grade 2 he runs is for Rising Dragon, your typical 12k attacker for Silver Thorn, useful. Get as many of her in the soul as possible. Late game, pull out to get 12k attackers for free. Yay, good. So for grade 1s, he runs 4 of a very, very crucial card, very, very useful card, which is your Silver Thorn Assistant Zelma. So she is your Purple Trapezist clone, but with more restrictions and she's a 7k base, which is very good. So the skill is choose another of your rearguard with Silver Thorn in his card name and put in your soul. So when this card is placed on rearguard circle, if you have a Palemoon Vanguard, you can pay the cost, which is put a Silver Thorn into the soul. If you do, pull another Silver Thorn from the soul, not name Zelma, onto the rearguard circle. So essentially what happens is that when you call her or him, you put something in the soul and you put something else from the soul out. So he is very useful as the same as Purple Trapezist to help you refresh columns and so on and so forth. So let's say you combo, I'll talk about combo later. Yeah, not now, combo later. So Zelma, a 7k base Purple Trapezist, which is very good because 7k behind a 9k is 16k. Unlike 6k behind a 9k is 15k, which is bad number. So next, we run another really, really key card to help make this deck consistent. And my favorite female of Vanguard is Irina. Isn't she hot? I think she's the hottest Vanguard unit in existence. Anyway, her skill is when this unit is placed on R or V, if you have a Silver Thorn Vanguard, okay, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck and choose 1 card with a Silver Thorn in its card name and put it in the soul. Put the rest at the bottom of the deck. So essentially, she helps you set your soul up really, really well. You get to check 2 cards, put 1 in the soul, and put the rest at the bottom of the deck. But it must be Silver Thorn. And it is very good, number 1, decked in, and number 2, set up your soul very, very consistently. Before set 12, Palemoon didn't really have a way to set up soul consistently. But when Silver Thorn came out, she really helped consistent soul building, yes. Next, he runs 4 Perfect Guards because he runs 4 Perfect Guards. And finally, he runs 2 Aina. She is the clone of Mauricica, but she's a boosted version. She is also there for pressure. So her skill is when you boost and hits a Vanguard, you can count +1. If you do, choose up to 1 unit with Silver Thorn from your card, from your soul, call it to R, and then put it back into the soul at the end of your turn. Also used for pressure and giving early game rush if you get her early game. And most of the time, people will not know she exists and will just let it hit anyways. So yeah, very good. And for triggers, he runs 6 crits. So 6 Silver Thorn crits and 6 of this Poison Juggler. 6 stands, 4 Silver Thorn and 2 Sky High Walker, and 4 heals, which is Silver Thorn. Now, the reason why he runs this 2 is because These two are very good utility cards. Okay, they can be put into. Okay, so his skill is put in the soul and flip 1. His skill is put in the soul and give 3k to someone else. So, as you know, Palemoon uses soul a lot. So why you run this is because you put in a soul, you can potentially call him out again and use the skill again. So unflipping for this deck is very good because this deck can be somewhat counterblast heavy, and you know you can use this to help you reuse Venus's skill, especially her skill, or even Luquier's skill if you need her skill, or any other cards with counterblast. And this is in there just to give 3k, you know, just to make nice columns, such as, you know, 12k, 12k attacker with a 7k boost. Oh no, it doesn't work. Anyways, yeah, just numbers, you know, just give nice 3k extra if you need 3k extra. And the thing is, with Venus skill, you can actually pull out great zeros for free. Once they're out, put back in the soul and use them as utility, which is very good. And you run stands because, well, of this guy. And you don't really need draw triggers in this deck because this deck conserves your hand really well because you are calling from your soul and not your hand. So your hand size will be fine. So there's no need for a draw trigger. So you just run straight, crit and stand. And stand is very good for pressure. And this deck is about attacking your opponent with lots of pressure and multiple attacks and having a field that never dies. Trust me, I've used Eradicated against this deck and it's so annoying. I kill the field, they come back. I kill the field, they come back. And his hand size still stays the same. And I'm like, what? So anyways, before I forget, our starter, a very, very good and important starter, Emil. Her skill is put in the soul. Look at up to 5 cards from the top of the deck. Oh, it's not up to it. Look at 5 cards from the top of the deck and search for up to 1 grade 3, 2, and 1 respectively with Silverthorn in this card name, and put it into your soul. Then you put the rest in back in your deck and shuffle your deck. See, the key thing is shuffling deck. This is a very good skill, shuffling deck. Unlike Irina, she puts the cards at the bottom of the deck. Emil helps you reshuffle, and it also helps you set up your soul very, very well. You have a chance to put in grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. You have potential to put 3 very useful cards into the soul and you get the shuffle. And this helps very, very much in deck thinning. So, upon set 13 with this card out, sorry, set 15 with this card out, Palemoon's secondary objective is deck thinning. And I can tell you, deck thinning for this deck is very good because very often you can actually achieve having your deck be half triggers, if not more. I played against my friend and he's managed to get like 10 out of 15 cards in a deck is a trigger, which is like, what? So yeah, going to the past is no longer an option. So other options you can run is you can go full out 8 stands by running 4 of this unflipper if you really want to unflip damage and use Venus's counterblast skill, or you can add in more juggler to add 3k if you want. I don't know why. I think this is better if you want to run more stand triggers to unflip. Also for grade 3s, the choices right now is we are doing Venus, Reverse, and Luquier. So another option you can do is swap out Reverse for 3 Break Right, Miracle Pop Eva. Okay, first of all, the pros of having Luquier Reverse. Number 1, this is a pure Silverthorn lineup. Whichever grade 3 you write, it is a Silverthorn, and you can straight away use any of the skills that require Silverthorn in this card name. It's because in this deck there's a lot of Silverthorn specific skills such as Irina, you need a Silverthorn Vanguard. Next you have Marichika, you need to pull out Silverthorns. And also Irina, you need to put in Silverthorns into the soul. Yes. As well as Emil, you can only put in Silverthorns into the soul. Zelma, you can only pull out and put in Silverthorns into the soul. So yeah, a lot of skills right now, a lot of these really crucial skills are Silverthorn restricted. So you want that in. But on the other hand, the downside to this is that you don't have that break right turn powerful push. Which is, you know, you can say that it's not good. Okay, you can say that you want not consistent grade 3 turn, a few turns before break right, and have a nice, wonderful, powerful push. Or you can have a consistent Silverthorn lineup and consistently have your 12k attacker hit for 12k pull off your Emil skill, pull off your Zelma skill and or Irina skill. But the good thing about Eva, as I said, is powerful attacks. In that turn alone, you can achieve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks for that turn, which is very pressuring for your opponent. But personally, my friend, he thinks that Silverthorn playing reverse is a lot better because this helps the deck be a lot more consistent. And for any kind of card games, you want consistent decks. So with the deck built out of the way, let us talk about combos and how to play this deck. We're back. So, as I mentioned before, Silverthorn is all about playing with the soul. And there are cards you can use to create pressure early game, as well as rush early game, and as well as combos you can use for late game. So here's one such instance early game which is very devastating to your opponent. You have Marika as your Vanguard, Marika as your Rearguard, and you have Upright Lion. So first thing you do is you attack with your Upright Lion, 12k. Then Rising Dragon, my god, sorry, it's not Upright Lion, it's Rising Dragon, not Lion. Anyways, next you attack with a Vanguard or Rearguard first, whichever you want to do, and he will be forced to guard. Next you attack with Vanguard and he'll be forced to guard again. If he doesn't guard, well, good for you. You're able to counterblast 1. You can pull Zelma out, put Silverthorn, the Rising Dragon back in, pull him out again as 10. So now you have refreshed an attacker, and you gain a full column if Zelma is in your soul. I mean, if you manage to pull off in your soul. Then you have another 19k column to attack with. And let's assume your Vanguard is 9k. Yeah, let's say your opponent is 9k at grade 2. It is a very nice magic number. And then at the end of the turn, it goes back in the soul, and it's safe. Also, early game, you want to spam her skill. Okay, if you're up against decks that retire, use her skill as early as possible so that she does not die. So early game, you want to call as many Irinas as possible to look at top 2 cards of your deck for a Silverthorn and put it into your soul. So use her as many times as possible before you use Emil, because when you use her skill, you'll be stacking triggers and or non-Silverthorns at the bottom of the deck. But for this build, everything is Silverthorn except for triggers. Some triggers. So essentially you'll be stacking, basically what you'll be stacking at the bottom will be all triggers. Then you use Emil skill to look at top 5, put grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 into the soul, and then you get to reshuffle your deck, having all your triggers reshuffled, which is really good. And for your Venus turn, let's say you ride Venus, and somehow you manage to soul charge Luquier into your soul. So she's a 13k base, which is really good. And let's just say your field is somehow empty. Use her skill, especially counter blush. True. Let's say you call out, for this turn, you call out things like, okay, for the ideal case, one Upright Lion. Next, you call out, let's say you call out something like a 12k attacker. No, maybe just make it grade 3, 11k. So here you have 5, your grade F's up to 5. Next, let's say you call out 2 flippers, stand trigger, and you call out Emil. He gains 12k because you call him first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You call out 4 Silverthorns, 4 Silverthorns, sorry, my bad, this is not Silverthorns, so you have 2 Silverthorns this time. So this time is only 15k, if you do this. Next, you can put both the unflippers into the soul to unflip 2, which means you can use her skill again next turn. Ooh. Then you put Emil's skill into the soul, use Emil's skill. Do your top 5, put in more cards into the soul, and then you can deck in even more. So in the game, typically you probably use Venus' skill 2 or 3 times. And in that time, on average, you probably put in another 7 cards into the soul. That's 7 cards that are not triggers from your deck into the soul, which will increase your probability of getting triggers by up to 10%. Assuming you have about 30 cards left in your deck. That's not even 10%, that's like 20-30% increased chance of getting triggers. Isn't that good? Or you can also do things like call Upright Lion, call this guy. Oh no, call a grade 2, my bad. Call a Rising Dragon. Call a Zelma out. Call a Mill out. And you can call, let's say you call an Irina. First things first, use her skill. Top 2, put in a soul. Second, Zelma skill. Put him in, put him out again to trigger off his effect again. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 silver tons came out from the soul. Now that's extra 15k to him. So now he is 24k alone. With a 7k booster is 31k. 31k is a magic number. After you use Emil's skill, after you use Irina's skill, use Emil's skill to reshuffle your deck and redistribute your triggers. So yeah. And finally, once you've done all that crazy stuff and push, and let's say you get free calls, and you say your opponent retires them, you use Venus skill again, and you get free calls again, you get to fill up your field again, you know, nicely. Yay, attack, attack, attack. And by the time you sort of exhausted her, right, reverse Luquier to lock and call something out and gain 5k. Lock, call something out, gains 5k. So essentially, that turn you can push your columns with, for example, your columns will be 24k columns with this combo. So yeah, so this is my friend's Palemoon deck. I think I've covered all the combos you can do. If you use Miracle Pop Eva instead, well, what you do is you break right Venus over her. You can use Venus' skill to fill up your whole field. And then when you use break right, and let's just say you have Zelma in your soul, yeah, out in the field, you attack, 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 break right skill, put 2 Zelma in, pull 2 Zelma out as 10, put both your front and rear guards in, put them out as 10, and you get another 2 full columns. I'm pretty sure most of you know this combo from the set 12 release of Silvertons, but yeah, this is the same idea if you use Miracle Pop Eva in this deck. The only difference is that Venus can help you fill up the whole field if your field is empty. But normally, early game your field will be somewhat empty if you only 2 or 3 rear guards at most, and then late game you just sorry, you late game use Venus skill to fill your field up while conserving your hands. And hence, you don't need any draw triggers. Use critical triggers and stand triggers for pressure. So yeah, so this has been my friend's deck, Venus Luquier deck. I hope you guys understand and like it. If you have any comments, please write them down below. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.